Yo, it's your boy Cap, and in this video I will be showing you my very first win on the first day of Chapter 4 Season 3 Fortnite. This was probably one of my best, if not my very best solo game that I ever played, and I will be giving you tips and tricks to help you win your games in your solo rank grind as well. As you can see, I did drop back down to Platinum 1, no big deal. We have to learn and get better along the way. It was a really rough start and this game was really weird to begin with, so I was really surprised that I got to the point where I actually knew I could win this game. Also, if you haven't already, please consider liking up the video because I just got off work, I'm hungry, but I gotta make sure I get this recorded and put out at a good time. Also, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing because I do daily uploads and I will be dropping more content like this. And also, last but not least, if you're not using anyone's code in the item shop, consider using my code INCAP, and be sure to use someone's code because it helps us creators out a lot. So in my rank grind yesterday, we did drop back down to Platinum 1 and we had a very slow start. With that being said, I seen that my drop spot was overly contested, and instead of just going in 50-50 in, I decided to just land off and have a shambles loot start. As boring as a shambles loot start is, it was the best thing that I could have possibly done because I was going into a back-to-back thing where I was just landing 50-50, die, go back to lobby, wait for a game, and it was just getting really annoying having to wait for games with the queue times not being as fast as you would like, with all the different divisions and stuff like that. So just making sure I get what I needed before I go look for fights was probably the best thing that I could have done. So at this point in the game, it's still early even though there's only 48 people left. A lot of people tend to die right away, something that I was doing, and what I wanted to do was see if I can get any quick easy kills so I could get better loot. So I went over here because I seen someone fighting and I decided to try to take a look. I didn't have the best weapons for up close fighting, but I knew I had a red eye and maybe I could get beams, and maybe they were finishing up the fight, leaving their self open, and I could get an easy clean up third party. But unfortunately, it looks like they were already done fighting and they were healing up and good to go, had mats, all of the stuff they needed to win a fight against me, especially a close range weapon, which I did not have. So I decided to just leave and make sure they didn't see me leave, because if they seen me leave, they might have just full pushed me. Luckily there's no movement, so maybe they did see the builds that I made, but thankfully I was able to get out of that without being seen. So I finally found a drum shotty, so I decide that I'll go ahead and third party this fight in Slappy Shores. Now I do not advise using the drum shotty unless you know exactly what you're doing with it or you have no other option like me. I'm not gonna lie, this was probably one of the most cringe fights ever. I definitely shouldn't have won this, even though it's solos and everything's cringe when it comes to solos. But as soon as I got here, they stopped fighting and they just sat in their boxes and waited. And that's what I decided to do because I wasn't gonna be the one to fight first. You never wanna be the one to fight first when there's 3 parties involved, because the third party can easily just come take you both out, literally quote unquote third party. So what I did was I decided to sit here and wait for them to fight. So I ended up being able to claim the spot, which you would probably think is the best thing that could have probably happened for me in this situation. Unfortunately, it wasn't because I didn't have many mats, and then I decided to make a couple bot plays here and there to put me in an even worse situation, explaining the fact that I don't know how I won this fight, but we're just gonna go ahead and skip to the fight so you can see what happened. So right here is when the fight is over with and it's just me versus the other person. Now I am trying to get the best angle that I possibly can because I have no mats, and I know if I drop all the way down they can just drop on me and there's nothing I can do. So right now I'm just trying to play angles, just try different things, see if he'll edit me into the box. I do have a drum, and as you can see I do 29 damage right there. So then I go for another shot and I get hit all the way down to really low HP. So I decide to go and heal. I have my floppers. I always make sure I try to use my heals so I don't die with heals. As you can see, I'm not gonna die with mats, but you never want to die with heals, you never want to die with mats. And now we're just playing a game of ring around the rosy, and I'm just being very tactical. I use my juice because I knew I need that, and then I go and look to attack again because like I do have a purple drum, so this could win me the fight. And I get hit again. This person is just really good with their aim and hitting these weird crazy angle shots. So I go back and I heal again because I do have med miss and I know they're coming up, and they hit me again for really low HP again, but they fall. So I decide to go ahead and pop a flopper, and I decide to play this angle of these old builds, and I just unload that drum on you and I win the fight. So GG's, let's get it. So this shambles game that I started ended up just being so lucky. Like luck was just on my side because I was able to find a llama and able to get everything that I needed from the llama, max mats, all of that. And then I also was able to get my cash, so I had the chug cannon and slurps. I also had a key, so I was able to get me a purple shotty, which I didn't show. And now we're just gonna look to play the end game. So we did end up seeing someone fighting in storm, so I decided to just wait and be patient for them to come out. Once they came out of storm, I knew I would be able to get easy beams on them, so I'll just let you see what happens here. Oh my god, they were a sweat and they had a crown, thank you. But yes, I knew that person was gonna get super aggressive when I popped my slurp juice, so I knew that would be my way to bait them out. And then I'm not gonna lie, I just cooked that person up real quick, put them in the blender. It is what it is. Now we're gonna go ahead and make it out of storm and get into our last couple fights. So right here I noticed that there's another fight happening, and like I'm fully stacked, I'm ready to go, so I'm just pulling up to any fights. Now I wish I could have started the game off like this, but sometimes you need those shambles games to get you back on track. So right here I just decided to go ahead and build up onto this fight, and shout out to Soaring Sprints. It is very good that they brought that back, especially with it being no movement in the game. So if you get Soaring Sprints and you get juices, that would be very good for rotations. That's a quick tip for anybody that made it to this part of the video, and we're just gonna hop in on this box and I'll let you see what happens. So right there is the trick that's gonna work more than ever now since there's no siphon. Just fake pull out your pickaxe and pull out your shotty right after. They're gonna make an edit, you shoot them, especially with you being 100 and they're low on health and shield. You're probably gonna win that 9 times out of 10, and it's a risk I'm willing to take. And then we got the final boss. So right here, I was just gonna let the entire clip play out, but I do wanna walk you through my thought process in this. So I popped my slurp because I know I'm gonna need the max health and shield that I can get in this fight, especially with him being the final person, and clearly he's trying to sweat. So What I do is try to build fight this person, and I'm messing up my builds. Yes, I do mess up my builds sometimes, so being able to reset when you mess up your builds is one good thing to do. I use my chuck cannon because I need to get back full, and this person is steady applying pressure. I go to attack, but I realize it's just not working out. Too many edit bugs and stuff like that. So what I do is just full tarp away and look for a different angle. We end up trading damage right there, so I know I need to use my chuck cannon again, and then I decide to go ahead and look for more angles again, and I'll just let the rest of this clip play out.
The final boss, bro.
I almost had that person full box right there, but it didn't work. So what I end up doing is just continuing to build up. They end up chopping me. I get a shot in right there, and that's when I know I have it.
Let's go!
Be sure to like up the video if you haven't already. Also, be sure to sub to the channel because I will be dropping more content like this. Also, be sure to use code INCAP in the item shop. And appreciate y'all. I'm out of here. Peace.